Well, despite this cooperation between China and Belgium, China and other European countries, there has been some frictions on and off between especially China and the EU. So how do you think this bilateral relation can keep moving forward despite all the challenges and differences?
I think we should not lose our temper and we should stay cool-headed. I think it is not strange that at a moment that China re-enters the world's history, and in such a short period of time, shows what I would call an unprecedented socio-economic development. That is a global rebalancing of power.
Yes, revolutionary changes.
And so the fact that there are some problems and challenges to adapt to the new reality for the existing incumbent powers, that should not come as a surprise. But I think these are hiccups, these are transitional problems and challenges that we should face cool-headed, in a cool-headed way and with a lot of rationality, and try to avoid conflicts and antagonism to deepen. And I think we are now living a very important juncture, a very important moment in our relations between US and China, the EU and China. And I think it's really key that the European Union tries to keep on its own positioning and not just be the junior partner of the US, but develop an own view. We share the Eurasian continent. We live on the same Eurasian continent. And so we should try to continue to invest in mutual openness, fair trade, a level playing field that is fair to our companies, protection of investment and trade. I think, for instance, that the European Union should approve, all institutions should approve the investment and cooperation agreement. The statements made by the Vice President of the European Commission in September about trade to say Europe strategically doesn't want to decouple from China, but we want to de-risk our supply chains. I think that's the right approach. Yeah.
Talking about de-risk or the notion of decoupling, which unfortunately is some of the European countries who are now trying to mapping out a kind of strategic or economic safety strategy. But you have been always a very strong believer in multilateralism and free trade. So are you concerned about that, the so-called decoupling and de-risking from China?
Decoupling is not a solution. I think everybody should understand that all the nations in the world, they try to safeguard their vital interests. And in serving their citizens, they have to manage in the right way issues like the safety, security of their people, including the sovereignty and the territorial integrity. But on the other hand, that should not lead to protectionism. And so we should remain open to each other and invest in this interaction, and so not decouple, but try to safeguard our interests, manage the risks of, the risks for our global value chains, for our interactions economically, and make sure that our economy can continue to function normally also in times of emergencies like pandemics or natural disasters, strengthen the resilience of our value chains and supply chains, but in a good cooperation, in full transparency to our partners.